Hello to all my stitching friends and subscribers. Well, I've just sat down to have my morning coffee and I thought I would pop on and have a little chat with you, which is something I always love to do. And I'm sitting here today with a brand new start. This is called London. This is a cityscape called London, and it's by a designer, Thea Gouverneur. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. It sounds quite French to me. And it's on an 18 count Aida. Now there's many of these designs and they're all based on different cityscapes from different locations. And there's a lovely little card in the pattern itself which gives you an indication of all the different places that you can, all the different cities and different locations. We've got Russia, I think there's a Jerusalem and a Greece. And I've chosen the London design, and I've also chosen just a simple Aida, which is 18 count. You can also choose to have a linen fabric if you like, and you can have a choice of a black fabric too. So there's quite a few options there, I think, with these charts, and I was quite drawn to the overall result when I saw that some of these finishes were so beautiful. And so I'm working steadily in 1/1 full cross over this middle building here. And it's nice also that the chart comes with a full paper chart pattern, and that's something which you can decide whether you want to try and get into an electronic device or not. I'm quite happy using the paper pattern. I don't seem to have a problem with that. And I'm finding it actually, as I'm so used to doing heaven and earth designs, I'm actually finding it quite easy to do the 1/1 full crosses here. I thought I would struggle a little bit without doing my normal parking antics that I do. And so this for me is something new at the moment, because I'm so used to doing the heaven and earth designs where I work in blocks, but I'm pretty much cross-countrying in this chart because I feel like that's what the chart is telling me. That's how the chart is telling me to stitch. And it is my first chart, this particular design as well. So I don't want to get it wrong. Now what I can say is, I don't know if you've ever done one of these charts, but there is a lot of colours. There was about 120 colours, I believe, or just slightly more than that. And so I found it really difficult to put them all into different bobbins and that. So basically I just have a system where I bought a whole bunch of white envelopes, and basically I have stuck the symbol, which you get here, on these sort of strips. So you'll get your symbol on these little strips, and I have numbered them because that just makes it easier for me to see. So if I want to use number 1, I will just flip through my envelopes and pick out number 1 with that symbol, and all my little flosses are inside. And obviously I haven't sticky taped the thing shut because that would be stupid, right? And so I've got 100 and so many of these, so just a whole bunch of plain envelopes, and I'm finding that so much easier to work with because I can just kind of flick through them. I have them all in a little box and I just flick through those envelopes. I can get to the colour I want really quickly, especially by adding a number. The other thing I will say about this chart is I didn't see any DMC numbers anywhere, so it kind of would be hard for me to get some new flosses if I ran out. So again, it's easier for me to have each floss in a separate envelope, so that when I'm running a little bit short, I can say, okay, well, you know, I'm a little bit low on number 32 or whatever. And then I can go sort of checking in my shade chart, which is the DMC equivalent, and kind of go out and get some replacement. I'm hoping I don't need any replacements with the flosses, but you never know. And one of the hardest things to tell with paper charts is that whether you're running low or not, because you've got, in Pattern Keeper, you've got a stitch count and the number eventually goes to 0 once you've used all that colour. But there's no such determinations when you're using paper charts, you could have thousands of one colour and not even realise that you've got so much of one colour and maybe just 10 stitches of another colour. And the only indication you really have is by the amount of floss that they give you. But you know, we make mistakes, things go wrong, sometimes our threads get tangled and we just chuck them in the bin because we don't want to spend 2 hours untangling a thread. And so yeah, it's nice to know that they're all separate now in little envelopes, and I can go to each one and reorder a floss as and when, if I really need it. So that's where I'm at, and I'm going to do a little bit of stitching now, and I'm going to chat to you. There's some interesting things I want to tell you, a couple of updates. I also want to do a few shout outs as well. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to choose a colour and do a little bit of stitching. Now, I've only just discovered how great using one strand is, because I generally work in 2/1 this is the first time for me, I think actually it is the first time for me, just using the one strand. And I can't tell you just how brilliant it is using one strand. It's like I've discovered a whole new way to stitch. And now I want to go back and do all my heaven and earth designs that I'm working on in just the one strand, which obviously isn't going to work because I've got a lot of progress in quite a few of them. But it is what I think what it is about it is that you've got this this one strand and it doesn't tangle. I haven't had a single tangle or, you know, two threads getting a little bit wound around each other. It just hasn't happened. Now I have been going really carefully with this, just to sort of get used to it, and it's been working really well for me. Although again, because I'm not doing rows and I'm not doing other stuff like that, the counting is something you have to keep an eye on, definitely. Pop up here. And I don't mind stretching a couple of stitches either. That to me doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. And I am kind of marking off my progress with a very light pencil, which is really helpful. So little light pencil marks on my paper and nothing gets destroyed. And I can still see my back stitch. I've been back stitching as I go along as well, because I think that really does take away the burden of having to do all the back stitch at the end. Right, so I'm going to get to a few things that I wanted to let you know about, and the first one is that I wanted to thank all of you that have come into my new Discord community chat room. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, to be honest, but there is this place called Discord, and I'm told that it's really cool, and lots of people say, oh, you should try it out. It's a great place to chat, it's a great place to hang out. You can do audio with each other, you can share your screen with other people, and you can post stuff like in a main chat room, and it's really kind of versatile. So I said, sure, I'm going to have a go at that. So I set one up just a couple of days ago, and I've had quite a few people coming inside, and you will see the link to that down in the description below. And lots of stitchers coming in and posting their whips and everything and their finishes, and we've had some beautiful finishes, and I'm going to show one in a moment that has been posted in the community room. So this is my channel, but you're all welcome to chat amongst yourselves and post your whips and, you know, generally just enjoy your whole little stitching community. So yes, go in and show us what you're working on today, and show us any finishes that you're really proud of. The other thing I want to mention is a couple of shout outs. I want to thank Debbie from Creatively Yours. She's a Flosstuber, and again there's a link below, you can go and check her out, and she's working on some beautiful designs at the moment, and I spent a little time listening to her Flosstube video and, you know, connecting with everything that she's doing. She's working on some Mirabilia designs. She's working on, I think it's a Luca S design, a beautiful fox. She's got many things that she's working on, and I find Debbie, her overall persona was very warm, very inviting. And also I caught up with Needlebug just yesterday, and I was watching her live, and I don't often get a chance to just pop into live streams when I'm sort of busy, you know, with the school holidays now and everything else. It's kind of hard to be on top of everything, but I did manage to see that she'd popped in, and I was really glad to spend some time in her channel and seeing what she was working on. And she's working on it was a pandemic sampler, and I was very stunned by the colours that she was using, which was a red and a white, and it's very beautiful. So yes, Needlebug is very, very, she knows a lot about stitching. So any questions you have, she'll be helpful. And to be honest, I find that the whole community of Flosstubers are really, really warm and welcoming, and they're all very inclusive, not exclusive. They're inclusive with each other, and I found everybody very warm and helpful. You know, there's no sort of animosity or anything like that. And that's what I like about it, because that's how it should be. You know, we're all here to help each other and to give each other support. That's how I feel about it. And also I managed to check out, it's called Please Don't Squeeze My Stitching, and this is Charmin. And Charmin is working on, I think it's a Donna Gelsinger chart actually, called Hero Firefighter. So you should go and check Please Don't Squeeze My Stitching out as well. And I will be checking out some more Flosstubers, absolutely, definitely, and spending time with them and connecting with them and getting familiar with their works and everything else. So now I want to show you one of the beautiful works that's been posted on my Discord channel. So again, if you want to check that out, just hit the link below. And this is called, I believe it's called a Hawaii Mandala. And this is by Chatelaine. I can never really say this. I do have a lot of trouble pronouncing these beautiful words. I think it's Chatelaine or Chatelaine. This is a designer, and they produce the most beautiful, intricate designs. And when I saw this finish, I literally fell over. I mean, I fell in love with it. The whole appearance, the way it all sort of blends together, the colors, everything is just perfect. And actually, it was really lovely to see this. And this was posted in my Discord chat room, and she posted this into the projects section. And the user is called Bonkers Face. I love that. Her name is Bonkers Face. So if you want to connect with her as well, or just go in and post your own whips. She's also posted a few others as well, which are just as beautiful finishes. So we got some beautiful pictures posted, beautiful whip updates posted in that channel, and it was great to see them all. Now, one thing you do have to do when you're doing this, these pattern charts, is you've always got to have one eye on your chart and one eye on your fabric, because it's so easy to just like go into the wrong square. And it's also easy to do the wrong sort of stitch. So you can do one cross, one leg one way and one leg the other way. So I find that because I'm used to doing 10 stitches, sometimes I can forget, and sometimes I'll even just do a 10 stitch and have to come back later and finish that stitch off. So I have to remember which way I'm going. Bottom left, top right. And if I'm not consciously thinking about that, I'll just go in any direction. But I think so far I've done fine, and I haven't actually messed it up, I don't think. I mean, one stitch isn't going to make a huge difference. And I'm liking this on 18 count because I like that it doesn't feel too tapestry like or too bulky. It's just got a lovely smooth appearance to it. So I've also decided what I'm going to take with me on my little vacation in a couple of weeks. I'm going to Stirling, which is this beautiful little historic town in Scotland, and I'm going to take my Tree of Life. I've decided I'm going to take my Tree of Life by Jen DeLeith. That's a Heaven and Earth design, because it's one that I've been wanting to work on a lot, but I haven't been able to this last week or so, and I really want to get a bit more done because I love the colours so much. So I'm only going to take that one project with me, and I think that would be okay because I don't want to take too many projects with me so that I feel bogged down by stitching, because I'm actually on a break and I want to just get out and about and, you know, have a drink here and there and go out to eat, and I don't want to feel like I've got all these whips in my bag that I need to be giving attention. So it's going to be one of those things which you do, I don't know, in the hotel lobby, in your hotel room, and, you know, maybe I'll get a few surprise stares or people might come and ask me what I'm doing. That would be nice, actually. It's nice to kind of share the works that you're doing. Whoops, nearly went down the wrong hole there. What I like about this as well is that you only have to do a couple of little stitches and you can already see the difference. Whereas sometimes I find with the Heaven and Earth designs, you can be stitching for what seems like forever, and you look at it and think, I don't see any progress at all, and that can be a little bit off-putting as well, because you feel like you've put all this effort in and there's nothing to see. And as people rightly suggest, if you take photographs, you will actually see some progress. But I don't always remember to take photographs, and sometimes I just don't want so many photographs, you know, bogged down on my phone or whatever. So it's nice to actually have a chart that you can see straight away what your progress is. And I'm amazed at how fast I got this piece done. I've only had this chart a couple of weeks and I've just zoomed through this what seems like really quickly. It is not at all bad confetti wise. Not as much as I thought it was going to be anyway. So it really is a bit of a joy to stitch, and it's nice to change a little bit from time to time. I think I do get a little bit tired of the same method as well, even though it's my go-to method and it works for me. I'm enjoying a kit every so often where you more or less have to do whatever they tell you to do in terms of stitches. So if it's full cross, it's full cross. It wouldn't work if you did this all in tent, I don't think. It's just got a particular style that they want you to achieve. And that's all kind of explained to you as well in the chart itself. So I've got a funny feeling that I'm actually going to finish this one before I finish any of my Heaven and Earth charts. I just have an inkling about that. And what I don't want to do is go frogging stitches just because I've sort of done them the wrong way round. Now, I'm not seeing in this light where I have to hop to. I've just finished up there. Where do I need to hop to do my last couple of stitches? I think it's down here. And then I'll take out new thread. So the dark colours really do contrast nicely, and it so does make a difference when you get that backstitch done. And I was kind of not looking forward to these little lines here, but I'm kind of glad that I did them, and it didn't take me really more than half an hour, so it didn't take that long at all to achieve that effect. But it makes such a difference when you look at it, especially from a distance. And London has a special place for me because I used to live not very far from London, and we used to go for little trips every so often, my family and I. And it just kind of brings back memories. It's kind of nostalgic, you know, to do cross-stitch patterns of places which have a meaning for you. I find it very nostalgic, but I also do love some of these other cities too, so I do actually think I might do more of them and not just this London design. Now, it's really as simple as finding your symbol and off we go. So the next one I'm going to do here is, and there's quite a few of these, there's about 3 of these, so it's a lot of colours, but I found that this is the easiest way for me to manage it. So my next colour is this K, it's number 55, so I need to get an envelope number 55. That easy, isn't it? No faffing about with the skeins. So number 55K. I'm glad I thought about this particular method because, you know, I could be halfway into my whip before the bulb lights up and I actually realise that that I could actually have put them in envelopes, which would have been a bit disappointing if I'd only realised that near the very end of my progress. It's much easier to work with one strand. It's much faster to thread it than when you're using 2 strands. And when I finish this top bit up here, I'm going to carry on with some of the backstitch so that I don't have to do it all at the very end. I think that method is kind of working for me at the moment. There are so many different changes in shades and colours here, but I think that even the most subtle of differences really show through. You can really get a nice sort of 3-dimensional effect with the way that some of these colours are sort of blended and layered together. And I think when I come to frame this piece, I'd really like to get something that highlights or sort of accentuates these gold tones. So probably something a little bit more ornate than just a plain frame. I'd have to experiment, but something maybe in a metallic, and that would sort of bring out these lovely gold and brown tones. So I think now you can see that even though I've done very few stitches, it's already starting to look more complete here at the top. So what are you guys working on at the moment? I'll probably be doing my live again on Saturday, so if you're free, do pop in and say hello and let us know what you're working on. It's always nice to hear about other people's projects and what they're working on. It often makes me want to go online and search for these particular charts and have a look at them and see what sort of patterns they are. So it's very enticing when someone mentions a lovely chart to go and have a look and see it properly. And I'm still sort of really excited about starting this chart. I still feel like I'm right near the very beginning. So there's always something really interesting about the beginning and the end. I do appreciate the journey in between, but I do love that little buzz that you get from starting something new and just seeing how those first few stitches look. And also when you get to the very end and you think, oh my goodness, you know, look at what I've done, look at what I've achieved. And you know, I've seen a lot of these designs are done on linen or on the black fabric, and they still look absolutely stunning. I really do think these colours really pop on that black fabric. I just find personally that black fabric is quite difficult to work with, especially when you're using darker colours. And I've often had to place something behind it, like a white piece of paper or a white sheet, just to be able to see, you know, through those holes sometimes. And you kind of have to get the lighting just right as well, because some of the DMC fabric that I've used, the black fabric, kind of has a shine coming off it or something, and it sort of can make it seem like it's a bit blurry. I'm not quite sure exactly how to describe that, but yeah, I think I feel a lot more comfortable choosing this color, and I don't think it is white. This is a sort of cream or off-white color. So for me, it seems to be working fine. Quite happy with it. I think after a while, after you've tried a lot of different things and you've had a lot of fun with trying various methods and various fabrics, you kind of have like a go-to stitch or a go-to method. And this is the one which you can just relax into, and you don't have to concentrate so much, you don't have to think so hard. And you just know that it's the one that you want for when you're tired and you just want something to really relax with. That's what I've kind of found anyway. And you know, there are times when you do feel that you want something that's a little bit more challenging. It really just does depend on the way you feel at the time. You can have both. You can have both things, and various, you know, whips of varying degrees of relaxing stitches or challenging natures. It just really depends what you're up for, I think. So I'm just coming to the end of these few stitches now, and then I'm going to take a break, make another cup of tea, and I will be having a little break in a couple of weeks. As I've mentioned a few times, I'll be going for a little trip and enjoying my surroundings, a little bit of exploring, and I will take my one whip with me because I don't want to be bogged down with too many stitching projects, because I don't want to feel like I'm obliged to do stitching if I don't really want to. But what I do want to do is I want to check in and say hello to everybody, and so I'll probably just sort of spontaneously appear and wave hello from in front of a castle or in front of a river. I don't know. I'm sure there's lots of lovely places that I can quickly show you. on my phone camera, and so I'm looking forward to that break. So I'm just coming through to the last couple of stitches here, and I can already see the difference. I can already see a difference to when I started stitching in this video, and it's just looking really amazing. I can't wait to see the finished result of the top of this building here. I think it's going to look really cool. And if any of you have done this pattern, please do. I'd love you to show it to me. You can even go into my Discord and you can upload your picture there. It's really handful for that kind of thing. It's really handy for that kind of thing. And I'd love to see your finished progress. I think somebody posted one of St. Petersburg, which looks absolutely amazing, and they did do that on the black fabric as well. So for now, I will bid you farewell and wish you many blessings, and I hope you stay well and enjoy your stitching for the rest of this week. And I hope to catch you again live on my stream on Saturday. If you get a free moment, pop by and say hello. I'd love to hear from you. So until then, everybody take care and God bless.